This is WISN 12 News with breaking news.
Good afternoon. I'm Joyce Garbasiak coming to you live from the WISN 12 newsroom. We want to bring to you word of a breaking news situation in Milwaukee's downtown, a church fire at 9th and Highland. You're looking at the smoke rising above the steeple of Trinity Evangelical Lutheran Church. It's a 140-year-old church located at 9th and Highland.
Joyce, it's really an incredible scene down here. The 140-year-old Trinity Evangelical Lutheran Church, built back in the 1800s, belching black smoke. Let's look at some video from earlier this afternoon, just a few minutes ago, when the fire had engulfed the whole upper part of Trinity Evangelical Lutheran Church at 9th and Highland. Multiple fire trucks have moved in here, dozens of firefighters. They just moved in the incident command post.
And we are getting comments from people who are parishioners or have a strong affinity with that church, reaching out to us saying they're heartbroken as they watch these pictures. I want to bring in our chief meteorologist, Mark Baden, now, because as you see the fire going, you can tell the power of the wind. And Mark, I want to ask you about how strong are the winds right now? And obviously that will complicate so much of the work that the firefighters have to do.
Yeah, that certainly isn't helping the situation at all here with this fire. Winds are gusting anywhere from 30 to 35 miles per hour. If we can, I want to go ahead and take a look at our weather computers, and you'll actually be able to see kind of a different vantage point than what you have right here. We're going to take a look. This is from the top of the U.S. Bank building. You can actually see the whole entire roof of Trinity Lutheran Church, one of the most historic churches in Milwaukee, is gone. And there still are visible flames at times. You can see firefighters working hard to take that. And watch the smoke. You see how fast it's moving away. That's that strong northeasterly wind. You can see it's not as smoky as it was before. You could barely see parts of downtown, but right near the courthouse building, you can see where we've got that smoke. It looks a lot better than it did. You can actually see the smoke all the way from Franklin.
There was an organ inside, also opened in 1879. It has its own designation on the National Historic Register. So much history going up in flames as we speak right now in downtown Milwaukee. I want to bring in some information that we just obtained by speaking with a pastor. He tells us he's heartbroken. He confirms this is the oldest Lutheran church in Milwaukee, and he himself called 911. He acknowledges what we've been telling you about on the church's Facebook page, that roof construction was underway. He noticed something, some type of flame, some type of flicker, so he called 911, and he is on site watching what happened. We're going to check in now with Matt Salemi, who's flying above the scene in News Chopper 12 for his perspective. Matt.
Joyce, we are above the scene now, and you can see they've got many lines. They've got water towers and lines from the ground all pointed directly at the church. I count at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 active right now. At this point, you can see the roof completely gone. Even on the steeples, those roofs are completely gone. The windows and the window frames burned out. This is a total loss. All that's left at this point appears to be the brick structure on the outside. Now, a lot of that interior woodwork you can see has been consumed by the blaze.
We have available to us the pictures from the church's Facebook page, which could confirm within the last 2 weeks these pictures were taken of scaffolding on the roof. You can see the construction that was taking place. They were doing some kind of roof. We don't know if it was replacement. We don't know exactly what was happening. But these are pictures from the church's own Facebook page from just a mere 2 weeks ago. We're going to go back now to our Terry Sater, who is one of 3 of our 12 News crews on scene. Terry.
Joyce, this is Brian Evans. He works for Milwaukee Public Schools, and he walks by this church several times a day. Tell us what you saw earlier today.
So earlier, there were some roofers working on the roof, and they were working on what looked like shingles and doing some roof work. That was a little earlier today as I was coming back from one of the graduations and getting in my car, just headed over to grab a bite to eat. And when I came back, that's what I witnessed, the fire, the flames that are going on now.
What are your thoughts as you saw that?
Yeah, the church is a very beautiful church, and it's burnt down now. And, you know, I'm concerned about the workers and whether or not they got all right.
We will continue to stay on the story. This is, again, Trinity Evangelical Lutheran Church.
This is WISN 12 News with breaking news.
Beginning with that breaking news, a massive fire at a historic downtown Milwaukee church. Video shows huge flames shooting from the roof of Trinity Lutheran Church about an hour ago.
The church is on 9th and Highland, just west of the new Bucks Arena. Video taken from USFIR shows part of the roof collapsing as those flames broke through.
12 News' Terry Sater has been on the scene all afternoon. He joins us live. Terry?
Patrick, we're going to zoom in on the remains of Trinity Lutheran Church. This is an incredibly heartbreaking scene for the people who call that church home. Firefighters continue to attack the flames that are still burning at the bottom of the church. But let's go to some video from earlier this afternoon. Flames roaring from Trinity Church on Highland and 9th, downtown Milwaukee. This church, 140 years old, the main spire 200 feet tall. The church is a landmark, beautiful building in downtown Milwaukee, very near the new Joseph Zilber Brewery complex that is being renovated. This church also undergoing some roof work. A witness told us earlier this afternoon that he saw construction workers up on the roof. That information confirmed by the senior pastor of the church. Let's hear what Brian Evans had to say. He's a Milwaukee public school worker.
Earlier, there were some roofers working on the roof, and they were working on what looked like shingles and doing some roof work. That was a little earlier today as I was coming back from one of the graduations and getting in my car, just headed over to grab a bite to eat. And when I came back, that's what I witnessed the fire, the flames that are going on now.
So the person there talking about the construction workers up on the roof, we don't know the whereabouts of those construction workers. We have not heard about any injuries. The pastor himself saw some sparks up on the roof or inside the church and called 911. Firefighters continuing to battle the remains of this fire that has all but gutted Trinity Church downtown, this beautiful Victorian Gothic church built back in 1878, now just a shell of its former self. The roof under construction. They were trying to restore that roof, and now it is devastation here. Heartbroken parishioners of this church have watched this play out on TV and in social media pictures. Firefighters continuing to attack the flames here, but a devastating scene here. So far, we have not heard about any injuries or casualties from this fire. Firefighters continuing to battle it here. Live in Milwaukee, Terry Sater, WISN 12 News.
All right, thank you, Terry.
Matt Salemi is flying over the church right now in News Chopper 12. Matt?
And these old timbers are so dense that if you stop spraying water on them, the fire starts to reignite. You can see just how charred those roof beams are. Still some small areas of flame remaining, but they continue to put water on it from all sides. As we widen out here, you'll see there's nothing left of the roof except for those couple of timbers that didn't collapse. And firefighters now, 5 of the water towers attacking it from all sides at this point, trying to get as much water as they can onto it to make sure that they can get it down. But there is not much left to burn. What's left of the roof, what has collapsed inside, has prevented them from going in. So you can see they are attacking it from the air, and they've got one ground crew arcing a spray up through some of the front windows that have been broken out. Above the scene in News Chopper 12, Matt Salemi, WISN 12 News.
Heartbreaking images from 9th and Highland. Matt, thank you. As a witness just mentioned, this church appeared to be undergoing renovations. We have a before shot from the church's Facebook page. On May 1st, you can see scaffolding and roofers working in the photo. Again, the church posted this picture 2 weeks ago.
And according to the church's website, German immigrants founded that church in 1847. The pastor tells 12 News it is the oldest Lutheran church in Milwaukee and the second oldest Missouri Synod congregation in the state of Wisconsin. The current building was built, as Terry mentioned, in 1878. It is made out of Cream City brick with a limestone foundation. The church is constructed in the shape of a cross. In 1949, Trinity Lutheran became the first Lutheran church to integrate African Americans.
2 big breaking news stories in downtown Milwaukee. A campus bus crash. A county bus slammed into a building on Marquette University's campus. News Chopper 12 is live over the scene.
And this, an historic church fire. The roof collapsed and the burning steeple crashing to the ground. We have a team of reporters at both scenes.
Fire tore through a historic church just before 4 this afternoon in downtown Milwaukee.
Yes, and our team is covering that story as well. Let's go live to Ben Wagner.
And Kathy and Joyce, just a shell of the roof is all that is left here at Trinity Evangelical Lutheran Church. Firefighters still attacking this hours later with multiple ladder trucks and pouring water on what is left of that roof. Now, flames were shooting from the roof from the church just after we arrived after about 4 o'clock. This is video from just across the street from that fire where it broke out. Firefighters were shouting for people to get back as part of the steeple collapsed. We spoke to students who were on the first floor when that fire broke out.
We were in there, and then I think it started upstairs, and then like a bunch of people started screaming, and they all came downstairs, and they just rushed us out, and they told me there's a huge fire, and it started spreading all throughout the building. And
then I saw like the flames coming, so then we were running because we didn't know if it was gonna anything was gonna explode or anything.
Firefighters are still here on scene investigating exactly how this fire started. We actually talked with the church's pastor tonight, who said that off camera, this is a sad day for his congregation. Reporting live in Milwaukee, Ben Wagner, WISN 12 News.
As far as we know, no injuries to report. Now we want to go live to Terry Sater.
Yes, and Terry, you just spoke with firefighters there at the scene?
That's right. Fire gutted Trinity Evangelical Church here this afternoon. Firefighters continue to pour water on hot spots. Let's go to the video from earlier. More than 85 firefighters attacked the fire here. This is a beautiful landmark on the National Register of Historic Places in downtown Milwaukee. It's 140 years old, and this fire is devastating for the people who call Trinity their church home. Let's listen to Steve Kelly, who was married in this church.
I was originally married in that church, and it was, since I moved back to Milwaukee in 2014, I've been a member. Been involved in their music program. That organ is irreplaceable.
There was roof work being done by construction workers at the time of the fire. The pastor confirmed that information for us this afternoon. The first call for help came in at 3:45. Fire on the roof, but fire investigators say it's too early to determine what started this fire here this afternoon. But a heartbreaking, devastating loss for the people that call Trinity home.
12 News starts now.
A historic church inferno. One of the steeples gone along with parts of the roof.
And then a bunch of people started screaming, and they all came downstairs, and they just rushed us out.
12 News talks with two teens inside when the fire started. Ben Wagner is live outside Trinity Lutheran Church near 9th and Highland. And Ben, some students narrowly escaped the flames.
Patrick and Joyce, they say they were rushed out as that fire spread. Take a look at what's left here behind me. Emergency vehicles have all gone. You can see what is left of that roof. Now, firefighters say no one was injured in this fire, but this shell of a church is a devastating scene for those who worship here.
In a matter of minutes.
It's sad. It's really sad.
The stone walls, parts of the roof, and one of the steeples. 140 years of Milwaukee history came burning down.
I was just super scared at first. I thought like something bad, like a person, but then I didn't realize it was a fire.
Roman Luevino and Isaiah Peace were on the first floor inside when the fire broke out.
We were in there, and then I think it started upstairs, and then a bunch of people started screaming, and they all came downstairs, and they just rushed us out, and they told me there's a huge fire, and it started spreading all throughout the building. And
these guys have a job to do, but it's just heartbreaking to see, chunks of the building coming off.
It was a hard scene for Steve Kelly, who's called Trinity home for years.
That organ is irreplaceable. The German carvings in that building, irreplaceable. So that's just heartbreaking.
He got married here and now helps in the music department. He said workers had been renovating the roof.
Gee, I sure hope that wasn't a contributing factor.
Firefighters are working to find a cause while parishioners grieve one of the darkest chapters in Trinity history.
Hopefully they can rebuild, but put it in the Lord's hands and see what he can do.
And again, firefighters say no injuries from this fire. They were worried at times that this building could collapse. This fire didn't damage any other buildings here in the area, Joyce.
That's incredible video. And Ben, has the church's pastor had anything to say about this?
We spoke with a pastor off camera here tonight. He said that he saw a cloth on the second floor of the building catch fire, but he's not exactly sure how it started. He did call this day a sad day for his 152-member congregation.
And he did call 911 as well. Ben Wagner live in Milwaukee. And 12 News found this picture of the church undergoing construction on its Facebook page. It's from May 1st. Workers and scaffolding are on the roof. Once again, this picture was from just 2 weeks ago. The pastor tells us Trinity Lutheran is the oldest Lutheran church in Milwaukee and the second oldest Missouri Synod congregation in the state. German immigrants founded it in 1847, and it's been at the 9th and Highland location since 1878. With its cream city brick and limestone foundation, the church made the National Register of Historic Places in 1979, the same year historians named it a state historical landmark.